Chane
Busted
that
cards
if
in the
they
game.
are going for fatigue. Rampart?
No, channel like frigid.
Oh yeah, Channel Like Frigid is insane. The amount of disruption that it has, even against decks who only do one or two things a turn, is phenomenal. Is that a red Crush the Weak?
Actually amazing to me the how good two of the channels are and how bad one of them are.
I really like Channel Like Thunderstep. Channel Like Thunderstep, I think, makes the most fun Starvo build possible, which is you run Channel, you run some Lightning, you run every tome that you can squeeze into the deck, and you just hit them with just two medium attacks a turn. Ooh, is that an early Pulse of Eisenloft that Aidan drew into
Not
with a
sure what
flash to back it
Arsenal.
up?
I'm
Well,
curious who chose
the
to go
life
1 dice
counters,
roll.
I I would assume it would have had to have been Aidan because who doesn't want to go first in this matchup?
Last week, Joel selected first. Or sorry, selected second in the same matchup.
Oh, interesting. All right. As
Wanted
Sarvo or
to
as Chane?
as Starva wanted to tempo my hand, which I thought was interesting.
Very interesting. All right, so we're seeing first card pitched is Invert. I mean, that's a great card to pitch if you are going for the fatigue strategy. But I think we need some more information before we decide. And that's going to be a raw Riftbind.
1 and 3.
And Rosetta's not even turned on at this point, which to me signals if I'm Aidan, I'm okay with what's happening here. You know, it's signaling to me that Derek has drawn a bit of a dud hand.
Well, he's on the rampart, so I'm guessing he's probably going to attempt a fatigue here.
Yeah, but I'm thinking Aiden's going to come in with something like he's got the fuse in hand.
So if you're picking, what are you playing? Staglamite or Stalagmite or the Rampart?
Well, if I'm picking, I'm playing Rampart because I don't own a stalagmite.
Okay.
Um,
I'll assume I'm lending you one, so you have a choice here now.
in that instance, I think it depends on the player who I'm playing against. If I know anything about them, then that would probably be my deciding factor.
Okay,
Um,
so it's me?
in the it's you on chain.
Sure.
I'm bringing Rampart. I reckon I'll be fine fatiguing you the easy way. I don't need
Okay.
to sweat. I've seen your chain play. But realistically speaking, I think at this kind of mid-level event, I would probably opt for the Rampart because it puts more onus on the opponent to play around it very, very well.
Yeah,
Because you need to set up your pitch stack such that you're not breaking the chain.
yeah, hilariously, I always find like that can be such a good strategy, just force the other person to figure it out.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. And I mean, it's not like it's not a solved thing, right? Chain, the information exists. You know, if you Google or YouTube video search whatever, you will find videos that say how to beat fatigue as chain. It's just a matter of do the cards line up for you, and can you pull it off, right? Because there's a lot of counting, and there's a lot of ways that Starvo can kind of mess up the count. Because I mean, it is still Starvo. It's not like you can take turns off and fatigue for free or like pitch stack for free like you do against Oldhim. Because if you don't pressure Starvo, he will come in for a 13 damage turn, possibly with an on hit. So we're seeing puppetry straight
Puppetry.
into another Riftbind here. So the
That's
amount of Riftbinds that are being played out immediately, I'm thinking Derek isn't going for fatigue. because you want at least a little bit of those to back you up. Because they even though we're post seeds, those attacks still get big. But this one just for 5, assuming it's a red. We covered 2 from Crown, presumably into Rampart. Is that an unmovable in hand for Aidan? Oh no, it's a spinal. It looks like.
Hmm.
So it looks like we're taking, or it looks like we're past defend step at this point. So we're getting the shadow puppetry trigger. Interesting. So my assumption here is that Aidan has the fuse for that spinal and wants to come in, catch that husk out really early, and keep pushing things forward.
Yeah, we got the life updated now.
There we go. And I mean, yeah, at 36 to 28, he's got the space to play with it, right?
I swear that looks like a runic in Derek's hand. Maybe I'm crazy.
Well, if it is, it does the only job it needs to do, which is right now pitch for Rosetta.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, if it's in against Starvo, it's just chaff to use to block.
Oh, we're blocking with the Evergreen.
And
Oh, it
sword.
was the Mavrian skies there being
Yeah, I
pitched.
thought I was crazy. Rush the week.
You
I'm
know what?
guessing
It
that he just
forces
wants
a
to.
card and some armor.
Yeah, I'm guessing that he just. Ooh, double
Ooh,
Art of War.
double Art of War. Does he have the cards to line up for it? Is the question.
I would hate to draw that.
Oh, he's got an Unhallowed there, so that's something decent at least.
The problem is if there's 2 reds in your hand, you're resource light.
Oh,
You're
and
you're definitely not pitching away Art of War, and you may end up banishing it later.
I think he has to. I think he has to pitch Art of War, play Art of War, banish Unhallowed, draw, and then see what happens. But Aiden's setting up for hopefully, or I think what he's planning on getting here is that fused spinal. I mean, I want to see these updated life totals to see if he has the space for it, because that first fused spinal isn't going to do anything; it just baits out Husk. But the second one, or the second fused Oaken,
Yeah,
might
if
do
you get in the
something
way,
actively disruptive.
if you're not careful and pay attention to what's banishing, that thing's gone next time around.
Yeah. So we've got an Unhallowed, we've got a Bounding. Carnivore is active. I mean, it's looking like a good turn for Derek, all in all. Oh, Marvian Sky's out of Arsenal. I'm assuming that Shrill is going to be pitched at some point.
No
Ooh,
Seeping
Seeping Shadows to the
Shadows.
bottom. Alright. So he's planning... he's at least hedging some bets for a little bit of fatigue. Although I don't know what the starting deck count was, and I don't know if pitching that Art of War is a master stroke that's going to come straight into your hand, or if it's just going to get banished on the flop.
Well, we'll count it out. What, 6 turns later?
Yeah, sure. Without the starting deck number, we can flip a coin. That'll
I
be
think it's
about
a,
as close as we're going to get.
I think it's a safe estimate. Was a shackle bounding into sword. Pretty good.
It's always a good turn. You're effectively paying 1 resource for 8 damage there. No, 9 damage because it's buffed up from Art of War. Oh, so we've tunicked to crown away Spinal.
I'm gonna guess since he's not blocking anything here, he's got the crippling in hand. Probably has the fuse.
The fuse crippling. Yeah, but again, Husk is still alive. It's not gonna.
And he's about to put
It's
a
not
Tome
gonna.
of Fyendel in Arsenal.
Interesting. I mean, he's put out a good amount of damage this turn and last, so
Yeah, with that Tome in Arsenal, you just block, refill your hand, get some life back. Pretty nice.
yeah. I mean, and now's as good a time to use creepers as any. Although we're gonna be at least 1 card down from blocking that crippling.
The creepers are your best tool in this matchup. Like against fatigue, it's super important.
Oh, not fused. He has another Spinal in hand. I mean, if he can bait out the Huskier, that's absolutely brilliant. But I don't, I can't imagine Derek would fall for it, right?
I don't hate the idea of pressuring this way. I just think that you're probably playing Stalagmite if you're playing this game plan. Because I mean that shield
Yeah, I would
effectively can
agree.
block like the sword plus whatever it blocks. I mean, add even used at worst, you're blocking 6 in a turn.
Yes. And
You can
oh, he
effectively
drew
block
another
like
tome. Interesting.
yeah, you can effectively
Okay, so
block
he's
like
he's
12 damage in a turn
yeah.
or
So
across 2
Derek
turns.
accepting that he's taking a turn off, which is the dream for Aidan, depending on what this flop is, because he's got a crippling in Arsenal.
Oh, and 3 blood
Wow.
deck cards.
And they're
Unreal.
all good. They're all so good. They play very well into each other. Is that last card a blue? If it
Yep,
is, that's the
it's
dream.
Eclipse.
Yeah, it's the Eclipse. All right.
So now you play the Howl. Ooh, maybe you don't play the Howl here unless I guess he wants to save the tome.
No, I think Tome is for next turn.
5
Yeah,
go
so
again
this
to
is going to
swing the
be.
sword. Keep the Riftbind. Pretty good.
I think that's the line.
Yeah, see the shield here would just flat out save you 6 life.
Yep. And still be, possibly saving it another 5 for next time this happens.
Yep.
But man, Chane's still threatening 9 damage off a 1 card hand. What a world. And there it is. 2-2.
I'm guessing he's just gonna play the
So
crippling here.
it would have to be fused. Because if he's just playing it normally, then Derek gets to just, block with 2-3 cards and do the same thing again next turn. And now he knows there's a hit in his yard of Riftbind.
Come on, Aidan, show the fuse.
Oh, there's a channel. That might help for no fuse. But is it channel raw crippling?
Pretty
It
good.
is channel raw crippling. It it is pretty good, but yeah, yeah, because
It's
it
good. You
addresses
tax the
the
hand.
yeah. You tax the hand and you make it so that they can't just pitch that 1 blue and come in for 9 damage like he did last turn, right?
Yep.
The downside is Derek's still on 23 with a husk.
Yeah.
It's tough. I mean, this matchup got a lot tougher once Starvo couldn't really block.
And Lost Awakening, yep. Although I do like playing tectonic plating now. I think it's actually really good. Just an easy way to keep around the channel for another turn.
Yep. I mean, the only other alternative is blow up the Crater Fist, right? I mean, yeah, block with 3, take 2 to 3 damage, depending on what the cards were. Although we did see another Unhallowed go. But at this point, it's very clear we're not going to fatigue. I'd be surprised if we make it another 2 turns or so.
We just
But
blocked with
still,
three cards
22
in
life with the
bats.
Husk. Uh,
3 hits.
what do we? Yeah, but another 3 good hits too.
Yeah, with one card in hand and channel out, you're definitely not emptying your blood debt zone
I
this.
mean, yeah, you could save yourself 2 life off of blood debt probably, right? Play a 0 cost, play a 1 cost.
Yeah, if I was
Which at
Chane
this
here, I'd be
point,
pretty happy.
yeah, oh, absolutely, because all you need to do is, strip 1 or 2 cards out of hand each turn, right?
Yeah, I can only really get one card out here. It's just going to be the Urser. Everything else is going to be stuck there. He's not going to have the resources to pay for it.
Yeah.
And he's not going to be able to play the Tome effectively next turn either, because the channel will be out until end of turn. So that Tome is stuck there for another turn. He's not going to be able to use or block with a card and Tome and draw 2 on his own or on Aiden's turn.
Oh, there's an Oaken in hand, but we know there's no pulse, unfortunately, because we saw that pitched, I think, turn 1 or turn 2.
There's even a normal fuse Oaken would be nice, but it looks like there's a blink in hand.
I mean, Channel's not sticking around, unfortunately. Yeah, just the vanilla Oaken. I think if you're playing up vanilla Oaken, you might just want to block with it. Because you're not getting the husk with it. You're not. I mean, maybe you're threatening lower the life enough with it. Maybe you do get the husk with it, but then he's got a 5 card hand with 3 great cards in banish, right? It's a tough spot for Starvo to be in right now.
Yeah, I'm thinking the Husk is probably the right choice here. You just plop that bad boy down, take one. Effectively get to play a 300 card hand now with all the banished cards.
I mean, yeah, we're flipping an additional 5, so he might hit 2 or 3 on that. He's got 5 cards to play with. He gets to draw off of Tome. What do we have? I mean, there's the last Art of War, so that's something. But again, 2
Being on
decent
7
hits.
with 5 playable cards and a full hand and an arsenal.
5 playable cards that play out naturally as well, because Shadow of Ursa and Howl don't consume action points, right? So it's not like there's 4 bounding demigons in there where it's a struggle to even get them out.
Oh man, and you have puppetry in hand. Yeah, this is
Yeah, he's
I hate to
got.
call it early, but yeah.
There's just so many action points, and he's gonna draw the cards for it to pay for everything he could possibly dream of. But we're seeing the crown come out. Maybe we draw into the dream. I don't know what that would be for Aidan, but he saw 2 blinks go by last turn. I was holding a Frostfang and an
Frostfang,
Oaken.
Oaken.
Is that 2 Okens in there? Is that an exposed?
It looks like a blizzard.
Maybe. Ah, I
Maybe
mean, we're
there's 3
starting the
cards in
Rampart
hand.
ticking.
Yeah, but you can avoid breaking the chain here by just bootsing in the shadow puppetry. Oof.
Banishing another bounding. I mean,
He
you're going to break
probably
the chain to get those boundings out, but it doesn't matter. You've got so many attacks coming in this turn.
he probably
It's
has one
fine.
blue in hand. It's a blue vexing. If you get him to pitch that, then the blizzard becomes really good. No, he's blizzarding now. Pay through it. One floating. Well, there goes the boots play.
Oh, see, interesting. In response to Blizzard, I think I would have played out the tome at instant speed because that would have cost you two. It would have drawn you two. Because now the only way you're playing out that tome at instant speed is if you pitch that shadow puppetry.
I don't think it really matters at this point. Aiden's got 2 cards in hand, and we got puppetry into a couple boundings coming. So now it's going to be
There's
unhallowed.
an unhallowed with no go again. It looks like. I guess he's
Oh.
just setting up for the big turn next turn.
Mm, okay, weird. I swear it was a puppetry in his hand.
I also thought it was. Maybe he decides it's worth more next turn than it is this turn. I mean, that's Aiden's
We
armor
run too
gone,
many
4 life.
cards. There you go.
There's the invert. I can't imagine this would be anything but an Arsenal pass. Yeah, and it was the Blue Winter's Grasp as well, if that matters. But we're seeing Blood Debt start ticking and being relevant. Although he's got 2 inverts on offer for himself now. I'm assuming there's non-attack targets in Aiden's graveyard. I know, or maybe he's done a good job of pitching them all. Because I was gonna say there's a flash, but he may have pitched that one. Oh, we're starting by pitching the invert. Right, another strong bounding. We're pitching the 2 block card. Hopefully drawing into a 3 block card for Aiden. No, drawing into is that Lightning Surge, it looks like? Another 2 block. He's gonna need to throw in another card from hand here. Oh, but he's debating on 2 more. Yep. That's the downside of the deck. It can't block for 3.
Small downside when the deck is just ridiculously good.
Yeah.
Activates boots, puts in shadow puppetry, bounding. Another 5, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, get to play another bounding and then swing the sword.
I mean, it looks like
And then invert to finish the game.
I don't even think we're gonna get to the invert point. I think you bounding sword and he's out of cards anyways. Yeah.
There's the bump, and that's the game.
It is